Welcome to Wilma TV, the show that sees change in Africa. I'm Patience Muika.
I'm Jennifer Masonga.
Today we'll be looking at how the Western media portrays Africa. We will be introducing a very special guest on our show who is an upcoming actor and who has bought his film, which is coming out soon, which we'll be seeing a little bit later on. But before that, I just want to show you a video by AfroSense TV, which talks about the portrayal of Africa on the Western media. Have a look at this.
They don't ever show people who are actually making it. The only person or that I can actually think of, or two people that I can think of that they might show in a good light, would be maybe Kofi Annan and Nelson Mandela. They don't really show a lot of, strong businessmen, businesswomen in Africa making a change, making a difference in their communities and things of that nature. They always show the slums, they always show the, shanty towns and things of that nature.
Why do you think that is?
I think it is... Media's it's a tool in itself to actually condition people's minds, and the more people's minds are conditioned, the more they can control what we think about things. So it's just the way that they, I don't know, maybe they don't actually want that Africa to be developed, so they don't show the things that, or the opportunities that can be exploited to develop Africa.
Okay, so you've seen the video about AfroSense TV, where Sylvie explains that she don't believe that there is a positive image of Africans portrayed on Western media, and she says that maybe they don't want to show this image of us on the Western media. I'm going to go straight to our guest, Kingsley, and just ask, what do you believe, how do I put it? Do you believe what she says is correct, first of all?
Yeah, I do believe it's correct, in the sense that the media is, trying to block any progress that we, as both individual and as a community, are trying to obviously help, our African brothers and sisters in the community back home. And, the media is not trying to show that. Instead, they're showing, the slums part of it, or the poverty side of the countries where, quite a few, like she said, businessmen have obviously put in their money and their hard work.
But do you believe that is a negative representation, or is it the true picture of how Africa is?
I don't think it's a true picture of how Africa is, because, myself as well, I have been there. And if I looked at how the media portrayed it there, being born in Africa, Nigeria, I know what it's like over there, even before I even moved here. Of course, back then it wasn't as great, but being here and seeing how it's portrayed and then going back again and seeing the progress, I feel that the media are not showing the progress. They're just showing it the same thing year after year, the poverty and everything, which is wrong, I believe.
Yeah, so obviously, like we said, you're an upcoming actor yourself. With your kind of movies that you make, obviously we don't really see upcoming new artists or actors, singers, etc. On the BBC, ITV, etc. Why do you believe we don't really get to see this kind of images out there?
I feel it's because they already paint us with the same brush, in the sense that once they see anything Black or African, they automatically think the same thing, which is, gang violence, or, people with hoodies, and, they feel that we portray the hood, whereas there are many of us who are, businessmen and women, who are, trying to better our lives and everything. So I feel that they're not open to any new ideas, they don't want to be open to new ideas. Even though they are, they will only give you small doses of it, just to show that, hey, you know, we're supporting the black community or the African community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to ask, what do you think, like how can the media change the view of Africa, even though of what they have already shown us, the negative part? Would it be difficult to now bring in the positivity? Would people believe it?
What I believe is that the media, even though we do have the positivity side of it, they wouldn't like to show that. But what we need to start doing now is supporting ourselves and creating opportunities for ourselves, so that the media can actually look back and see, you know, the progress. I feel that the progress is so far away from them that they're not looking to go and research about it. Instead, they just want to hear, you know, just like Chinese whispers, you know, what they've heard over there. So we have to create our own opportunities and, you know, push ourselves so that they can see that Africa is actually making progress.
That's right. But you in the video with Africa Sense TV, you see Sylvie there. She says the media has the power to condition people's mind.
Yeah.
So obviously, what is being shown is what most people will believe. So if now, after centuries of Africa being shown as this poor place, only war goes on there, etc., how easy is it going to be to just suddenly be showing this positivity within media?
Right. Well, like I said before, it's something that we have to take into our own hands. Like, we can't change it. The media will always take whatever they feel and what they want to portray. It's kind of a bit like racism as well. Like, you know, people, like the media would like to cover up themselves,
Yes.
and make themselves look good, than telling the actual real story. So it's kind of like...
Is it not up to us as Africans ourselves to defend ourselves if we're not defending what is being shown on TV?
That is correct. Sorry to stop you. That is correct. We should defend ourselves, but the way we defend ourselves is what is important right now. Because how we've been defending ourselves over the years is really not working. So we do need to find another way than either using violence or using violent words, you know, against the media. You know, we need to start using our actions. When I mean actions, I don't want us to start, you know, looting and start, you know, pumping down buildings and all that type of stuff. It's not like that.
That's not the answer.
We need to actually get out of our bed, go home, find out what's wrong at home.
So do you believe we as Africans don't do enough to change the way people view Africa?
I feel so, yes. I feel that we don't do enough, and we need to start doing a lot. I mean, only recently we've started accepting our own music. If you
That's
understand.
very true.
That's very true. Way back, I remember growing up in London. The only music you hear is pop music or bashment or, you know, the reggae music. And if anyone tried to,
it was a shame to be African.
Exactly. It was shameful to be African. If you start singing your own African songs, people start laughing at you.
Of course.
Yeah,
so
I have something to add on to that. And another thing that I think that is very wrong with us, with our own community, is that we don't accept our own thing until we see it from other people. Yeah. Say, for example, I think is it Dashiki or something?
Dashiki.
I think it's Nigerian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before, because this clothing came out a long time ago, but no one used to buy it until Chris Brown wore it, and now it's a trend everywhere. Yeah. So even with our own music, if they bring their own style, like maybe African mask or maybe the African clothing, no one would see as attractive unless maybe the video is made very
we need someone popular, someone in the media eye who's up there to show or to wear something for us to now go and follow our own cultures. Why does it take somebody else? You know, it takes, I don't know, Rihanna to wear an Africana for us to go.
That in a sense already speaks for itself, in the sense that it just basically spells that we don't even respect our own artists enough. We don't respect our own celebrities like the Wizkids and the Davidos, who are actually our biggest stars at the moment. And you know, they are of course wearing all these clothings, but no one wants to wear them unless they, you know, like she said, you know, Chris Brown or the Rihannas wear them.
So as Africans, we don't have that power within our media. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No, I don't think we don't have that power. I think it's us ourselves. We're forgetting where we're coming from. We're forgetting the value of our cultures.
Yes.
So living here, it's like people are now trying to become where they are, and they're not thinking back of where they're coming from, instead of us to bring.
But is it our fault though? Because if you look up within our generation, you know, then we'll look back at our parents, if that's the case. If we are the ones, if we're not respecting or valuing where we come from, in some sense, because of depending on the age group you're talking about, to an extent, you have to blame the parents, because it's your responsibility to make sure your child knows exactly where they come from, their roots. And most Africans, we don't go back to our country. We don't go back and know exactly where we come from, our roots. So maybe going back is where we'll know, okay, you know, I will come and show my British friend how to cook fufu. Who knows? You know?
What I would say is, growing up, what I've noticed is that certain cultures, well, especially Nigerians and Ghanaians, their parenting skills are quite in terms of teaching their children their culture they're more better than other countries, because we see Nigerians and Ghanaians, their children who are born here, they're growing up here, they're going to education, and they take what they learn here and the qualifications, and they're going back to their country, maybe building or investing on stuff. But other cultures, they are teaching their children how to become someone for later on to provide and make things or build businesses in this country. So
that's true.
That's what I have noticed.
Thank you very much with your contribution to that. With that, we're about to read some statements from the public. We did ask you to write into us your opinions, your views on how the media does shape your opinion and your views of Africa. And we had many responses, but we know we can only read a certain amount. But we're just going to go to a quick break, and then we're going to read those to you. We'll be back.
Bonjour bandeko, naza ko invité bino à na salon ya Amba na source divine. Amba sala suki kitoko, so boye Amba o sepelisa bino ata ozobala outi France, Belgique, boya awa midela bienza, midela sikezali. Donc en tout cas bo sepela. Adresse na biso eza yango yo 341 Seven Sisters Road, Tottenham, postcode desa N15 6RD. Donc boya ebele tozongeli place na biso akala, place source divine bandaka, ya en place tozongi na shop ezaka ya vie gika. Donc tozalia wa boya, donc boya ebele, midela bienza, midela sikezali, boko sepela. Bino mo bomo na kaba midel.
Yahweh na
Welcome back to Wilma TV. We're still here with Patience Muika and our very special guest, Kingsley Amadi. I'm Jennifer. I'm going to read a comment that you have wrote in regarding the topic of today, how the media has portrayed Africa. And one of the comments you wrote in says, the media portrayed Africa as a deprived and deserted nation. Until visiting the continent myself, I was not able to see. Is it not? Oh, I was able. I was not able.
The media show all the negative stuff. Where are we?
I was not able to see a positive image.
Yeah, I was not able to. If that's to say, I'm not able to see.
Oh, she wasn't able. Okay, I'm just going to read that from the beginning.
Yeah.
Only the comments.
And sometimes if the comments are long, you can just paraphrase it.
It's not long. I asked them to just do a short.
Yeah, short.
Their names, did you probably say their names from the first name and from London or whatever?
Okay.
That's what I was saying, but most people didn't want to put their names in, so that's what
First name is...
Yeah, we can put, first name and just age.
Just put
Yeah.
Just make up someone's name.
Okay.
We can make up name,
From
Yeah.
John,
From
from
John.
London.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't say John is too.
It's too common.
Find an African name.
Shola.
Olu.
Shola.
Ola.
No, Ola or Shola, yeah.
Yeah. Shola.
Ola,
because it- Ola, I
okay.
think it is.
Ola. From Ola.
Yeah.
Ola.
Sounds weird in my
No,
mouth.
Shola.
Ola.
See, I probably wouldn't mind saying
Oh, I was
that
just
name.
saying like...
Shola from London.
What about Femi?
Abiola.
Abiola, yeah. Abiola, yeah.
Sia, there's a lot of Sias.
Who?
We can say Sia wouldn't mind her name.
No, Sia wouldn't mind her name.
Yeah,
I know
Sia.
this girl.
Say Sia.
Sia.
Yeah,
Sia.
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 S-I-A.
Sia.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm reading a comment from Sia. Sorry, wait.
Yes.
Do I
Yeah,
have to
Sia from London.
Her
Sia
age
from-
as well?
Yeah, Sia from London.
Sia
which is
from
22.
London, 22. Okay.
We start from the beginning from Welcome Back.
Well, okay. Welcome back to Wilma TV. We're still here with Patience Muika and our very special guest, Kingsley Amadi. I'm Jennifer. I'm going to read a few comments from which you have wrote in. We'll have to do it again.
No, you didn't find. Like, so which you've written in regarding today's topic.
Should I do that from the beginning, Ron? Welcome back to Wilma TV. We're still here with Patience Muika and our very special guest, Kingsley Amadi. I'm Jennifer. I'm going to read a few comments which you have wrote in regarding the topic that we are discussing today of how the media portrays Africa. And this is a comment from Sia22 from London. This is what she has said. She said, the media portrayed Africa as a deprived and deserted nation. Until visiting the continent myself, I was not able to see a positive image of Africa. The media shows all the negative sides to the continent without any balance. As I'm older and more mature now, I am not affected by the media's view, but children definitely are.
So basically from that, we can see that it is important to go back at a young age because, like you say, Sia there said until she get in a mature age, she was able to see otherwise from what she sees as when she was seeing Africa as a deserted country and just poverty. So at a young age, I guess it's important to go back and see that Africa is a beautiful place, and that's what we need to be showing our children.
Of course. We have to obviously encourage, most Africans to, go back and take their children back to obviously see where they came from, why they have their own name, what their name means as well. Because,
Did your parents do that for you?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Like
have you been back?
My Nigerian name is Ndubisi. Ndubisi means life on your shoulder. I wouldn't have known that if I didn't go back and obviously ask them properly. Even my mom didn't even know what it meant until I went back home to ask my aunties. So the people who were there, you know, you can really take a lot in if you go back home and understand your culture properly, and obviously find out what needs improvement. Because sometimes things that need improvement has already been done, so you're just wasting your time. So we need to just work on, you know, other things that can improve us. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. And obviously, like Sia said, Africa is not a deserted country. It is a beautiful country. Of course. And obviously, should anything, you know, God forbid, anything wrong happen in Europe, where else are they going to run to? Yeah, obviously, Africa is the place they'll be going to. I mean, even in my country, Abuja, right now, which is the richest part of Nigeria, there's a lot of Russians buying houses over there, a lot of Europeans buying houses over there, and they don't even live there. So they are, you know, I'm not trying to say, you know, we should kick them out or anything like that, but these are people who are taking, you know, taking quite because
that's happening all over. Even, you know, in Congo, that's happening. You know, a lot of materials that's been used for, you know, our phones, our laptops, etc. It is coming from Congo, but most people are not educated enough to know that our young people, our children, we should be able to tell them what is produced in Congo, what are being put out there. Not just Congo, obviously, it's all over the world. A lot of things that is in, you know, Europe, what we use today in these countries is coming from Africa, you know, and it's just encouraging parents to be able to educate their children on things like that. I think it will push us forward in a positive way.
So basically, knowledge is key. Basically,
definitely
knowing your culture and knowing, you know, your heritage is very, very important. That which is something we need to pass on to our children, because I feel our children are becoming way too westernized.
Yes, yeah.